if that's what you meant by it.
No.
Let me get down to your level a little bit. Yep. Okay, that's it. It's the Jose Candelario show. I'm Jose Candelario, and today I am with an entrepreneur, a boss lady, B with a capital B, because I got to say that. Kebra Smith-Bolden. Do I get it right? Because
Yes,
you know me,
yes.
I'm horrible. I've said it like 18 times, and
You got it right.
obviously I'm sober. I'm not even high right now, and I still can't get it right.
Me either.
You got a big business. Mm-hmm. Big business. I mean, you're into cannabis. Mm-hmm. The number one question people always ask me is, what's the difference between going to my weed man on the corner versus hitting up your store?
Okay. Well, first, let me just say thank you for having me, and shout out to my weed man, because he held me down before cannabis was legal, and I appreciate all of the people who were providing, the street pharmacists who were providing us with our medicine over the years. So let me start with that. I will say that purchasing from a dispensary is something that I feel most comfortable with referring people to, because the products are tested. You know what they don't have in them, like pesticides and things that could potentially be harmful and dangerous, and that it's pretty all of the elements of the cannabis plant have to pretty much be naturally occurring. So it's not a lot of additives and things like that to change potency. You don't necessarily know that, because unfortunately our street pharmacists usually aren't the growers. They usually are getting it from a third party, or, not sure of the source. And not sure of how it's been stored, or how it was grown, if there was mold. All these things can affect the quality of cannabis and the way in which your body reacts to it. So our bodies have an endocannabinoid system. It's ready to receive naturally occurring cannabinoids. But if you have things that have additives, or aren't grown properly with the right nutrients, it could be dangerous to consume. So the difference is that buying from a dispensary, I can guarantee those things. Purchasing from a smoke shop or your street pharmacist may not necessarily be guaranteed in such a way.
I used to think, oh, look at this weed is all moist. It's wet. Oh, it must be fresh.
Oh.
But that's not necessarily true, because they could have sprayed on the terpenes, which makes it more potent. Mm-hmm. It could be the most regular, mm-hmm. but with the spray on terpenes or
terpenes.
Terpenes. Okay, I'm saying it right. Mm-hmm. It brings the potency up, mm-hmm. and it makes it like a super weed where it's almost unsmokable at times. I mean, mm-hmm. you take a puff and you're gone. This is. And weed has evolved over the years.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Growing up, we had that regular, seedy seeds and stems all up in there.
And now, people are really treating it like a science. They're taking different strains that you like and putting them together, creating hybrids, which are a mix of indica, sativa. Usually it's leaning one way or another. And of course, indica, couch, so that's like where you're high but you're low, and sativa is more focused, energetic, uplifting strains. So when you combine the two, you make somewhere in the middle oftentimes, and so that is due to science and genetics, mm-hmm. like the ability to manipulate genetics to create the flower that we want to have.
What kills me are all the names.
Yes.
Cookie Monster.
I just bought something called sour garlic cookies. Like, why would I want garlic cookies? But, it was just a mix of sour garlic and Girl Scout cookies, and that's how they get these funky names.
My understanding is the most commonly used strain is a Jamaican strain.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Which one is that?
No. The all like most indicas that you get are originally from Jamaica.
Derived
from the Jamaican weed, and that's what they grow all in California, and that's where everything comes from. Okay. Like that's how much into weed I used to be. I don't smoke any weed now, but you also say that we can be used for therapy as Do you suggest that it used be as part of therapy, or do people can go at it alone?
So, a couple of things. So, prior to me opening my dispensary for years, I had a medical cannabis certifying center. So, I got people their medical cannabis cards to be able to go and purchase from dispensaries to treat trauma, was the one thing we could diagnose in our center, and that was post traumatic stress disorder, specifically urban trauma, because that has been most prevalent in our community, and we were an inner city based clinic. And urban trauma is different from regular PTSD or like the post traumatic stress you would see in veterans, and that a veteran or someone who goes off to war, unless they come from the inner city, have like one trauma, which is huge. You're in war, that's trauma in and of itself. But you get to leave Iraq, you get to come back home and, begin the healing process. In our community, the trauma is right outside our door, it's right up the street. We run into it every day, we re-experience every day, we're re-traumatized every day. And so that was important to me as I started learning about cannabis and how it helps our community to identify these traumas and help people identify their traumas. Again, because we normalize these things and we think, oh, I'm just a hypervigilant person. That's probably the way your trauma shows up. And oh, I can't keep a job because I'm always getting it into it with my boss. That might be how your trauma shows up, and so really helping people identify that was the core to what we did, because cannabis can help. So many people who have PTSD have nightmares, night terrors, things of that nature. Consuming cannabis stops your or shortens your REM cycle. So you never get into that dream segment of your sleep. And so you're not having those nightmares. So it helps in that way. People with sexual traumas often find that consuming cannabis prior to a therapy session will help them to be able to recount those moments in a safe place where they're supported by cannabis to kind of help with being able to discuss those topics and relive those moments. And people who have, experienced prison, homicides, these things that it helps with the everyday struggles that you have, that are related to the trauma, like social anxieties. Now afterwards, cannabis can help to relieve those anxieties prior to attending a social event or re-engaging with your family that you haven't seen in years.
So in conjunction with, I mean, it's always, you can't, it's not one, there's not one magic pill or one magic puff in this situation, that it should be used in conjunction. And you should just go out and share and talk to people.
Absolutely. And it should be used, for me, the biggest thing is, because honestly, our community has been self-medicating with cannabis for decades in conjunction with nothing. So the ability to help people understand, number one, why, I felt the need to consume cannabis for so long, for so much, is because now I know this is trauma showing up in my life and this is how I'm medicating myself. And then that gives you a respect for the plant, because now this plant is helping heal your trauma, so you're less likely to abuse it. You're using it more appropriately, so you're not consuming an indica to go to work, but you're consuming a sativa or something that will allow you to focus. And at night, you're using the indica to go to bed and not have those bad dreams. So education, I think, is the most important. But yes, the encouragement has always been there to, like, as we diagnosed people with PTSD, gave them their medical cannabis cards, we made referrals to therapists and follow up for those traumas.
For years now, we've seen the videos Reefer Madness from the propaganda films. Yes. And the ideology that it's a gateway drug. What do you think about the stigma around these antiquated or thoughts?
Definitely antiquated, definitely has been debunked as not a true thing. The only way that cannabis is a gateway drug is because prior to legalization, you had to go behind the gate to get it. And while you were back there, they probably tried to give you other things, or whatever. But as far as scientifically, number one, Cannabis has the lowest level of addiction rates among users. People continue to use because it's effective medicine and it works, but only 9% of consumers actually have cannabis use disorders or addiction to the substances. And the other part of that is that we're finding too that people who are consuming cannabis are seeking out because it kind of opens your mind to spirituality, to, being able to talk about the things that you're unable to. So it definitely works great in conjunction with therapy.
How does marijuana affect our communities in trauma? I mean, does it alleviate trauma? Is it now perpetuating it? Are we repeating cycles due to the use of marijuana in this day and age?
So the systems and the powers that be, the government, have perpetuated these traumas on our community with the excuse of cannabis. Okay. So that's why, like, in our older communities, our elderly communities, many people won't even talk to you about weed because why? Their son went to prison for it, they got kicked out of housing because of it, all these different things. So now it's just like, absolutely not. But that was just, anything that's good for us is always twisted to seem like it's bad because they don't want us to have healing. They don't want us to have togetherness. They don't want us to be whole. And they want us to be dependent on their systems and pharmaceuticals.
Let's talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, being a person of color, being a person from New Haven. And does this shock you? Because we always talk about support as an artist, as a business owner. Does it shock you, the lack of support, or where you get your support from?
So, first of all, I am so appreciative of everyone who has supported me. And there have been, I've had thousands of customers. I think we're averaging about 2,000, 2,500 a month, so we've had great customers and great support. However, I do feel like I've created a space that's centered in Blackness, centered in community. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't at one point. So maybe things have changed in the last month or so. But like the first few months, I hadn't felt like my community was taking advantage of a space created for them. I remember when, was it Riva over there in West Haven opened, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to Riva," and I'm like, "There's nothing here that speaks culture. There's nothing. You get to throw a sandbag in a hole. Yeah, like come on, like what is community about that? What's lit about that? Absolutely nothing. But I've created spaces where you can do pretty much anything. We have trap yoga. We're starting boxing classes. We've had a first-time home buyer class. Like we have lit and paint nights where you can just come and paint, and we have movie nights, and they're all centered. Our last movie was Paid in Full, Love and Basketball. It's all centered around community. So again, initially I felt like, dang, I've created this space and y'all want to go to Reva's. It ain't even about you, But I will say, especially since the college students have returned, the 21 and over college students have returned. I connected with the Yale Black Graduate Network, and they've supported a lot of our events. And I'm starting to see my space be utilized how I envisioned it. But I will also say that we have a lot of apartments that are like I'm right adjacent to the Wooster Street neighborhood. So, from the pizza, it's all surrounded with apartments. And, and people come specifically for pizza or to move here from New York. Mm-hmm. And so I do have a lot of non-melanated, non-community, non-people from my community who support my business, and they love it. Mm-hmm. They love the culture that's there. They love the environment. They love the events that we do. And they tell me that, they tell our staff that. So we welcome and have space for everyone, but I have created a space for the New Haven community and those affected by the war on drugs. And so I want people to know this space is your space. Come use it. Come get some of this.
What is it? What is the thing you got to have to get that support? Because you're not only supported, but you're very well liked. What is it? What is it about it? You got to have that in business, I guess. Got to have that little.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thankful. I believe that the light, the joy, whatever you see in me is Christ, and I'm thankful for that. And I always give him glory for everything. And for me, that's what works for me. That I have centered God. Like when things weren't working out, when things were looking bad, where they go left, I just kept saying, "But God, I gave you the glory for this. So if I go down, you go down too. We ain't having that. You win all victories, So let's get this right, God, And that's kind of how I lean, because it's true. Like if you look at any interview I've done, any conversation I've had about this, I tell anyone, God put me on this path. You can say, it's against your religion, but show me. And ask God about it. Like, I really wonder, when people say that, I'm like, do you really talk to God? Because he's talking to me a lot about this. So I don't know. But, I definitely feel like that's my secret weapon, that my main partner in business is Christ.
Wow. I mean, with a partner like that, you can't go wrong.
Right? Winning all day.
Winning all day, all day. You just came back from Tennessee.
Yes.
How important is it to get out the city? I mean, but you went to Maryland for a little bit, right?
I lived in Maryland.
You lived in Maryland. Mm-hmm. How important is it sometimes to just get away from, so you can come back with a little bit of a different perspective?
Mm-hmm. I'm all for travel, having opportunities to reset if that works in your life, but you don't have to go far. I think a reset can happen right in your home, if you need to, but it is important to see other environments, appreciate yours. I was in Tennessee. I didn't feel very welcomed. That's the deep South, different environment. So I appreciate the community I have here, and that I feel welcomed and wanted here. But I've traveled many places where I've been to Africa. I've been all around the country. I've been, to many other countries, and I can appreciate the culture. Ghana was probably the most transformative trip I've ever taken. I went to the door of no return, went through the whole walk that my ancestors took, because I did do like my ancestry DNA, and I'm Nigerian and Ghanaian primarily. And so I think it's important to find those moments to connect with who you are. And so I encourage anybody, get yourself a passport, go explore this world. It's beautiful. There are different people to experience in places, and you'll learn so much.
Oh, man, people can see, I mean, the problem that I see with individuals such as yourself, and I will include myself, is that, you think you're better. Because you went and you explored, that you invested in yourself. Anyone can get a passport. I mean, it does take a grip, and it's not cheap, but
they also do free passport or passport. Rosa DeLaura did one. There are some things where you can go and get your passport either free or discounted or supported through the process. So there really isn't an excuse, and I think we all need passports, especially in this climate. We need to have ways to verify our United States citizenship and ways to get up out of here.
You do look like my Dominican cousin Consuela, so you better be careful out there in the streets.
I know, I don't want to be, but that's why it's important that we have the right paperwork, because even if I looked, what would that look be to make me okay?
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, we all get confused, and you're right. We all need passports, I think, to travel now, because if anything, you still need that little star on your ID now. So it's either that star on your ID or a passport to even travel. But when you come back, they just say, because you've seen how the DMV works, right? And how black folks, when I go down there and I go on a Monday night to TGIF and they're having a social, and the thing is packed with like 500 people.
Yes.
Do you see a difference, and what do you attribute that difference in support being?
I believe that the first thing that came to my mind, which I always go there, is Yale. No, and not just specifically Yale, but I feel like we live in a town where we have one entity kind of directing everything, and it's not what's the right word? It's just not encouraged, like for independence. It's like, go get a job at Yale, go go work at Yale University, whatever, go work at the hospital. It's this whole system. I feel like down there they don't have that type of like one place that is like their be all end all. And so you're forced to kind of like create your own spaces and places and mindset. So it's a mindset thing, ultimately, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like here there's a certain mindset that we have to overcome, of anything saving our lives. It's not going to happen. We have to create our own salvation by way of, of course, Christ. But I mean, we have to create jobs, opportunities that look like us that we can support. And we have to be able to be the ones saving our own communities.
Okay, we're going to pause here real quick because this is how I know. We're 20 minutes in already.
Oh, okay.
You see how fast this conversation goes?
Yeah.
Because it's just a different pace.
Yeah. I don't talk about Yale though.
No, it's okay. No, it's all right. No, it's not on the hit list. But I would just say this: can we just say that because there's a very limited supply of jobs, that there's a certain hyper competitiveness that keeps us separated?
You love Yale. Okay. Yeah, we can say that.
I mean, we're always competing. I mean, we're competing against ourselves. I mean, each other versus ourselves. I mean, we're always,
But that's a plan. Like they wrote a plan for how to keep us under subjection here in the city.
But please share.
Yale's 150-year plan that we're like 100 years into already.
I thought you were talking about America in general, but
no, I'm talking specifically New Haven. You were asking me what's the difference. I think it's because they have a plan that we've bought into, and now we're kind of like subjected to. And the plan is not for us to be independent; it's for them to dominate the city.
Well, okay, all right, wow. You sound like you're almost anti-institution right now.
Oh, I am anti-institution. Anti-establishment, but yes. But I mean, but again, yeah, I could just say mindset. I don't have to specifically say Yale, because I think that's what it is. Like, if you have, yes. Okay. Everything flows from the head down.
Okay.
Right now, they're the head, and they're controlling our heads.
So it's a trickle effect. I mean, it's established. My friend put out there, he said, support black businesses, right?
Yeah.
There's only now maybe 20, 25 known brick and mortars within even Hampden, New Haven, West Haven, East Haven. Mm-hmm. Why are people, let's put it this way, why are people going nonprofit route versus the entrepreneur for-profit route? There's more nonprofits. You turn around, how many nonprofits? New Haven, 100 nonprofits, but only 25 legit for-profit black business brick and mortars.
Again, I think it's mindset. I think that religion plays a part in that. I think that there are so many people who think that in order to do good, you can't make money, or in order to, and not realizing that you need money to do good. So you have to, like, honestly, I do hope to one day open a lit, nonprofit arm of my business that we can, do more giving through or whatever. But everybody feels like it's bad to make money. Like it's not good to to charge people things, and I've struggled with that myself. I would give away everything. But, I've had to come to terms with I won't be able to do anything if I don't have the money or the power to make those things happen.
It's the gift and the curse, right?
Yeah.
People, why is it, do you think it's just New Haven, or is it a system with black and brown, because we're all in the inner city once you get into the inner city mindset, it's no really distinguish that you're an immigrant or not because you're already in this motion. But what is it with people not accepting you and your success? That you did it and you're making money. Why can't people jump on board and be happy for you?
I mean, and I don't feel that way. I feel like there's plenty of people who have jumped on board and are happy for me. And the people who aren't, again, I think it's just mindset. Like instead of, like I know you probably would not believe this about me, but I am really not a person who likes to be out front. I get nervous every time I go to speak or do whatever. I swear for goodness. And I know I'm gonna tell the whole world how you know I'm nervous. My nose starts running. So I gotta blow my nose all the time. So I usually have tissue in my hand because that's my sign of nervousness. But anyway, I only do it because I understand the importance of being a model, like to be an example of what it looks like. Like people think I think I'm better than everybody and I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. But I just told y'all, I grew up on Sherman and Scranton, across the street from the cage, to a 16-year-old mother. Like I didn't grow up any special kind of way. So I feel like the reason why I put myself out there as much as I do, so people can say like, oh, if she's from Sherman and Scranton, she had a kid when she was a teenager. She, had some bad relationships, made bad choices, had businesses didn't work, did some things that maybe, I wouldn't be so proud of. But number one, God forgave me. And I was able to use that as a step, something I was able to take that situation, step on it and go to the next situation. So I feel like that's important to let people see my example.
You got lit socks, shirts, merchandise. What's your number one seller?
Of the merch?
Yeah.
People like the t-shirts and the hats, I would say. Everyone loves my socks, but they always say, like, I'm gonna come get socks. So I don't think we've sold out of the socks yet, but almost all the t-shirts and the hats and the socks are pretty popular.
Okay, so there's plenty of ways to support you. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's the whole thing.
I have books. I have, books about cannabis. I have books about, how to uplift your spirit, yoga. We have Bibles of all different varieties for people who want to, learn more about Christ. Everything we do there is centered in Christ. So,
what do you do as a hobby or pastime? Because you're everywhere all the time.
Believe it or not, I feel like my life is pretty well balanced. Like sometimes I'm like
So what
last
is the
week
hobby?
was
What
crazy.
is your hobby then?
Karaoke.
That's
Karaoke.
It?
I love to sing.
Can you sing?
I can sing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I insulted you real quick.
No, you didn't insult me. How would you know if you haven't experienced all of it?
I haven't been out there like that. So karaoke?
Karaoke is one of my favorite things. I like to bowl. I mean, I love traveling. I love traveling with my friends. I'm a foodie. So I cook really well. So I cook for people all the time. I cook in my dispensary. Like they get full meals. The other day I made curry chicken, rice, and cabbage for all my staff. But I love food. What else do I love? I love concerts. We're going to see Breezy next week.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Out of everything that you do, like, what is the go-to for tranquility and peace?
Aromatherapy, some candles, maybe some gospel music, and or a good movie, or something. I'm in my spot. I'm good like that.
You have all kinds of events, yoga, music. You got tents popping up you use your space for everything. What was the most surprising supported event that you threw, that you just shocked you that everyone was like, because, we always throwing spaghetti in the wall, right, as entrepreneurs.
Right. Oh, yes.
Right? So what was that one that just was like, wow?
Okay, so I would say One of my most like sold out has been trap yoga. Trap yoga's always sold out.
Wow.
So we always have a class full, but that's limited in the number of people we can have. The lit and create nights where you just go and paint and sit with your friends, that has also been really, really good. And movie night, paid in full. We did like a whole commercial for it, and so that was one of our most popular nights too. When we had paid in full night.
Is it me, or is people trying to find somewhere to relax, a safe environment? Don't you kind of get that?
Absolutely.
Because we've transitioned out of the clubs.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed that,
Yes,
but
yes.
what was the last time? I mean, we go to Harps for some wings and a drink, but
You know it. You know it, Harps. Shout out to Harps Bar and Grill.
we go out real quick, but it's not like we go there. We go there every night, we want to go somewhere safe now, don't we?
Mm-hmm. And not for anything, just by virtue of the regulations, my dispensary is, highly secured with security guards at all times, cameras everywhere, well lit, outside and inside. So it's probably one of the safest places to be. And the police always park across the street. So then we got the backup right there. And then it's also a cool, like people come in, they say it smells amazing. They love to look around. I'm a Libra. My birthday's in a couple days. And all things aesthetically beautiful and pleasing and, warm and welcoming. That's like me all day. So
finding pure balance.
Yes.
Pure balance.
All the time.
All the time. In and out. What is something that someone does not know about you? What is like a secret gift or talent? Secret gift or talent that, you say you're an empath and you have, you're in tune with yourself. But what is something like that will catch somebody off guard that know you and be like, oh, you can do that?
I can do everything. I can. I'm like every woman. And I can definitely do all things through Christ. I'm into guns. I do like. Oh yeah, like I've had my pistol permit for over 25 years now, and I am very big on being able to be armed and be knowledgeable about firearms to protect yourself and your family and your household. And
okay,
so
I've never shot a gun.
No?
I've never held a gun.
Would you like to go?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not going to commit. But yeah, you know what? Maybe.
We're having a gun safety course at Lit October 25th from 9 to 5 p.m.
So what are the rules between, I thought that you couldn't have you can't have a medical license and a gun license. What?
Not necessarily true.
Okay.
I've had both for a long time.
Okay. So there you go. Okay. So.
But there are nuances to that. Talk to me privately.
Okay. Hey.
Come see me at Lit. We'll talk about it.
Well, in case you guys don't know, the website has been underneath the name the whole time. So anytime you want to go ahead and if you need more information on it, you can. And one thing that I see that as an entrepreneur, we always get trapped, especially when we're creating something to stay within our community. How is it having a rainbow connection, having not only, Black folk, having some white folk come through and some brown folk from Fairhaven now, because I know you've been reaching out to that community too. How does it feel to just get that love from everywhere?
It's beautiful. Like, it really is. Like, people of all age, 21 and over. But
all ages, 21 to 85.
Yep. And literally, like, I have some of my older clients and customers who come in and just say how they appreciate, coming to a safe environment, knowing it's tested, knowing it's quality, and it's just a beautiful thing. Everyone appreciates it. At one point I was getting pushback from, observers like, oh, this is too black, or this is too, maybe you should tone this down a little bit. But my non-melanated customers love it. Like, they remark at the beauty of the artwork by Quadro a day. They remark at the, the knowledge of my bud tenders who are all from New Haven, who, like, I've hired my former weed man, one of my friends who I've known all my life works there. But these are all people who in some way, shape, or form were disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. And so, they might have an initial thought about what they're going to encounter and who they're going to experience, but when they open their mouths and they're so knowledgeable and friendly and welcoming, like we get reviews just off of that. So
you're unapologetically you.
right.
How long did it take to be that, or were you always like that? Is that due to grandma and grandpa, and mom, that you are just yourself, or did you grow into that?
I grew into that. Being a child who experienced a lot of traumas, it affects your self-esteem. It affects your value and worth. You think people see your traumas as you're walking through life, and so it affects how you interact with people. And I had to heal from those things. Um, lean into faith more and really begin to see how God sees me and who I am to God, and that I'm beautiful, and wonderfully made and fearfully made in his image. And the more I got to see Christ in me, the more I value myself. And I would say that has been only happening maybe in this past decade, where I really leaned into accepting me for who I am, my good, my bad, and all the in between, and again seeing how Christ sees me, which I hope for all people. Like if you really can begin to see who Christ sees in you, not that you'll think you're better than anybody, but you'll know you're the best that He has to offer, and you handle yourself differently.
My God. We could stay here all day, but I gotta let you go because I know you're about to go record your song.
Yes.
For your birthday. So, shout out to Basan Lanley.
Yes.
Okay, real quick. So this is the Jose Candelario show. Kebra's got to go. You've seen the name, the whole thing. Thank you for staying the whole time. If you're still here with us, go out and support this young lady, do her thing in our community. Again, the Jose Candelario show, Kebra Smith-Bolden. I got it.
You got it.
I got it. Jesus, finally. It's been all morning. With
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
See you guys around.
Bye.